I'm just in Japan on a bike, and I'm back at the road station in Doshi, Yamanashi Prefecture, Japan. And last time, while I was in the middle of making a video, the storage on my phone ran out, so I got cut off. And that day was much busier. It was a weekend. I think it was a weekend. It was either a weekend or a public holiday. I can't remember now. However, the weather is equally nice. The temperature's nice, but very windy. That's all. The cherry blossom is it's still blooming pretty well. It's past its peak, but up here in the mountains, there's still quite a lot of cherry blossom out, which is a big thing in Japan. Cherry blossom. You'll see it everywhere. It's a really big thing. And anyway, so today's a weekday. Not many people here, not many bikes here. A few bikes coming and going. And I've used this opportunity. We've had a lot of wet weather, so a lot of horrible weather, stormy weather. As I said, today's very windy, quite dangerous at in some regards, but anyway, here we are. So we'll do a walk around, see what kind of bikes we got. This is a single, it's a big single, I think. This is possibly it's a Yamaha, I can see that. I think it's an SR, possibly a 250, I can't tell, but it's old, that's for sure. He's sort of cafe racer, customized this. Got the and that's the other thing I noticed when I do my videos. Maybe I get a bit too close, you can't see very well, so I'll step back a bit so you get a better view of the bikes. Yeah, cafe racer style, old. I think it's an SR 250. It's a single cylinder, very popular bikes. Of course, the SR 400 is also very popular. Worth noting that 250cc bikes are really popular because they bikes over 250 pay more tax and are subject to the government inspection. Where I come from, we call it MOT in Britain, but bikes under 250cc are not subject to the MOT, and they pay a lot less in tax and insurance. These are popular, these old school trail bikes. Was it a Supermoto? Let me know. I'm not sure what I should call it. KLX 250. Yeah, these. I'll try and do less talking and just show you the bikes. So there we are, KLX 250. My bike, my V-Strom. I'm on the 250 today. Thought I'd give the 250 a run. I'm on a bit of a tight budget at the moment, so the 250 is incredibly economical. And when I'm on my own, I'll give it a run. When I'm with the missus, we'll go on the 650, the other bike. But because the 250, although it is a very capable bike with two people loaded up with luggage, it is not so comfortable. And she complains about the comfort, but and anyway, a 650 is always it's just got that little bit more go in it for two up. But as I said, I have done long trips on the 250 two up, loaded up with luggage, and as I said, very capable, no issues at all really. Just slight sort of cramps just because it's slightly on the small side, but for me, I don't think, if you're a smaller person, I don't think you'd have that issue. I just find with my long legs, I'm 180 centimeters, and I've got long legs, and I find it a little bit cramped on long journeys. But anyway, another Yamaha SR that isn't a cafe racer version, but it's so the other one we just looked at, that cafe racer version, had drum brakes on the front. This has got a disc. Don't know whether that's original. I would say it is original. A drilled front disc on an old SR with a drum brake on the back. I would question whether that drilled front disc is original. Got a screen added to this one, and the kickstart, the drum brake and the kickstart are always a giveaway in terms of age, but they are very popular bikes. I can't tell whether it's a 250 or a 400 from looking at it. Just can't tell. Yeah, there's probably a way to tell if you're knowledgeable about these things. What's that? Beat, Kawasaki, and it's got this word beat on it. Don't know, not sure what that is, what model of Kawasaki that is, except I can see it's a 4-cylinder, and it's fairly modern in its tech and build. It's a MT-07, I think. Yeah, MT-07. BMW F900 Triumph Tiger Sport. Now I was interested in one of these, although I live in Japan, so I'm more likely to buy. I feel much better riding a Japanese bike in Japan, but I do like the look of it, and apparently it's a very fun and sporty ride. But when you look at the reviews, especially longer term reviews, these Triumphs do have slight issues, not too bad on reliability, but just things like quality, finish, like things going rusty quickly, and things falling off, or the paintwork not being so good. That's what I've seen, and that's what I've read, and that's what videos I've seen of people who've had them longer term. To see that a lot of the journos, when they ride them new, a lot of the reviewers, they ride them brand new, or they've got them on the short-term loan, and they don't really know what it's like to own vehicles, you know, whether it's a motorbike or anything really, longer term. And what's this one? This is, I know it's a Yamaha, but what is it? I don't recognise this. So it's like motocross style bike, single cylinder, quite a small cylinder. I can't tell what it is. There it is, XG250. Alright, it's an XG250. It's got like, it looks like he's pretty off-road capable, that one. Suzuki, what's that? Not sure, what is that? GSX-8R. Which is quite a new model. We got an old Kawasaki GPZ Ninja. These bikes, I remember back in the day when I was young, back in the 80s, the GPZs were the dream bikes, the bikes to drool over. When we were teenagers, we were really in awe at the GPZ. This one is not wholly original, should be obvious. It's definitely got some mods, some updates on it, but it's a nice bike, nice looking bike. It does look a bit dated, but in a nice way. I think it's got a nice retro, sort of original retro, of course, because it is originally an 80s bike. I think it's a nice looking bike. Takes me back to my youth. Never owned one, never had one, but was very, very interested in one. Had I the money back in the day, I'd probably ended up buying one of these, but I didn't have the money back then. Even the license, well, I got my license around that time when these were still valid bikes, when these were still desirable bikes. But yeah, nice, that, like that. Phaser GT, this is interesting. This is a very Phaser GT. This is like the very last generation of the Phaser. It must be, because they don't make it anymore, do they? Fairly sure the Phaser was phased out. Fairly sure. But it does look very modern. It's got a very modern look about it. So maybe it's been brought back and I'm just not aware of it. I'm going to have to check it out later. I'm going to have to look into it, because I remember the Phaser when it came out, of course, based on the R series, the R1. The Phaser was like the poor man's R1. Very capable bike, absolutely brilliant bike, the Phaser. And I almost bought one. I was very interested in buying one, but I looked into it, and not this generation. As I say, this might, I don't know, I really don't know. He's got some scratches on there. It looks like he's been down. Not sure if it's been on its side, but some scratches on the bodywork there, on the fairing. Right, okay, I'm in the way. So what else we got? Harley Davidson Sports. That's the entry-level Harley. It used to be. I think they've now brought out a made in China economy version, haven't they? But this used to be the entry level. A lot of these about, a lot of these in Japan. Another Harley Davidson. What's this one? There's also a Sportster. Different age to the one next to it. Nice Ducati here. Gosh. Ducati Hypermotard SP. Well, they're pricey bikes, I know that. Looks quite good for these mountain twisties, a bike like that, I would say. I'm not sure what that Honda is, can't CBR 250R he's on there. And then we got BMW F750 GS. Sort of medium-sized adventure bike. It actually looks a little bit on the large size, I would say. Going backwards because I'm getting sunshine in the lens and the lens is cracked, so right, what we got there, not sure what that is. I hear something noisy behind me, but it's something big and American by the sound of it. Something small there, little Honda, probably a single cylinder, looks like it. What's this one then? Look like a big I think it's a Harley, isn't it? Big Harley, a big American cruiser style. Right, what's this? This looks like a new retro. Kawasaki, yeah, it's the Kawasaki W. Hang on, this isn't the, what is this? It's a single cylinder W, so not sure what engine size that is. But of course, I do like the W650 and then the more recent W800, but that is something that not sure what engine size this is. I think it's a nice looking bike. It's an attractive bike. And what we got here, another Kawasaki. Oh, the Meguro. Meguro is it's a company that builds sort of custom builds Kawasaki's, but I haven't seen until now a smaller version, and it looks like a smaller version of that W next to it. Right next to it, here we are. I would say it's based on the same, yeah, I would say it's this is the Meguro is the it's like a more expensive custom version of the Kawasaki W series. Don't know whether it's by the way, Meguro is an old motorbike company in Japan that went out of business, but they've revived. I don't know whether it's a brand that's revived by Kawasaki just for selling a more premium bike, a bit like, for example, let me think, it would be sort of like Lexus is to Toyota, and Meguro, that's what Meguro is to Kawasaki. And then what we got here, Honda Super 4, not sure what that is. A few mods on there. Right, that's me done really. I just wanted to get out, have a ride, lift my mood, because riding my motorbike always lifts my mood. And I shall sign off, and this has been Justin on a bike in Japan.